Welcome to this second video, which will explain the impact and consequences of the strategies to deal with the pandemic created by Japan. The first COVID case in Japan was reported on January 15 of 2020. Since this, the real outbreak of the pandemic took place on the cruise ship Diamond Princess, which reported 712 positive cases in March of 2020, and the return of Japanese people due to the outbreak of the pandemic on other countries. To the date, Japan has had three different peaks of COVID cases. The first one in April 2020, the second one in August 2020, and the last one in November 2020, which reached a maximum of 2,508 cases in one day. Furthermore, it's important to analyze the economic impact of the pandemic in Japan. Like most of the countries of the world, Japan has faced severe economic consequences with the outbreak of the COVID-19. In the first place, as the government had to create strategies that restricted social interaction, such as the 3Cs strategy and the isolation by clusters, more than 700 restaurants, hotels, stores, and other businesses declared themselves bankrupt. These trends are explained by the low rates of consumption. The government created a series of campaigns to stimulate consumption among the Japanese population that tried to support the different businesses. On the other side, social impacts are also important, and it is important to mention that, as in many countries where most of the strategies were looking forward to decreasing the social interaction, a lot of Japanese people expressed their discontent with work as it now takes place in form of telework and other issues like mental health and economy. Japan has created different alternatives, policies and strategies to keep track and control of the pandemic in the country, which seem to be successful as Japan estimates a population of almost 126 million people with high rates of the elderly population, and even though it is a great number, there has been a low rate of contagion. As you can see in this graphic, there have been a lot fewer cases than in other countries of Europe or America. These rates are explained by the efforts of the government in planning successful strategies such as the 3Cs clusters, the increased PCR tests, and the investment made on the public health system. But also, it is important to mention that this low impact of the pandemic responds to the Japanese culture, which is recognized by its cleanliness and non-affective relations.